check in. As you can see by the fact that can't find the camera and I'm looking completely away from you. I am back on my iPad this morning because the mouse on my computer has stopped working and I couldn't use it. So bear with me for not looking at you. I'm not sure where to actually look on this, so we'll just pretend that I'm looking in the center of the camera and pretend that all is well. I hope you're good. Happy 6th of the 6th, which I only just realized as I was putting the date in. So that's an exciting date. I'm going to talk today about the fallout of numbing yourself. So I am going to do a little bit of a reading on June because that's what tested up to start with. And then I'm going to talk about the fallout of numbing yourself. So let me start with the June, while gives a chance for some of you to come on live. So welcome. If you haven't been here before, my name is Sabina. If you are a regular, thank you for coming back. It's always a pleasure to have you here. So the first card has come from the Angels and Ancestors deck by Kyle Gray. So this is kind of a general June read, and the card is Stargazer, set your sights higher. Set your sights higher. Stargazer, set your sights higher. I actually love this with the topic, with the whole topic of what I'm going to be talking about, which is really harnessing your potential. So where are you not setting your sights higher? Where are you stuck? Where are you thinking that you're going to keep being in the sludge? Where are you assuming that this is never ending, right? So have a feel into that. Where are you assuming that you can't, it's all falling apart? What's the point? There's too much loss. There's too much uncertainty. The foundation's too rocky. Where are you assuming that? And set your sights higher. And the other card that's come up for June is from the Rose Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. And it is After the Rain, Silver Lining, Relief, Hope, Mercy, It's Over, and Acceptance. And that card, it's what tests up with that card. Now, it might have a particular meaning for you. It might be speaking to you in a particular way. It might not be resonating at all. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. Let it go. What's testing up with that card is there is a lot that we have to accept that it is over. It's just over. Like at the end of a relationship, when you have to accept that it's over, and it's like that period of yearning that we've had, it's like we need to move beyond the grieving period and we need to move into acceptance of what is now, by also keeping hope of what we're building, what we're helping to create, what we're helping to establish. Hi, Aurora. As you can see, I'm on the iPad, so it's going to look like I'm looking to the side, but just bear with me. So like at the end of a relationship, we have had our grieving period. There's still fallout. We're still losing people in our lives. Just like when a relationship ends and you think, wow, I really thought that friend would be more, supportive, or I really thought that friend would stay in contact with me, and they haven't. We're all experiencing that. The grieving period is over. Okay, it's the acceptance now. So after the rain, it's the acceptance now. And look for the silver lining and the relief and the hope. And the first card again, which is set your sights higher. So it's time to do that. So this is kind of the June energy that we're in now. Another card. Okay, if you pop in, say hello, let me know how you are. It's lovely to be back after a few weeks off. Hi, Marianne. Let me know how you're feeling. Remember, as always, put in any questions or comment as we go. Okay, this is from a beautiful deck that I'm absolutely loving called Earth Alchemy Oracle. And it's just gorgeous. And so this is still June. And this is aquamarine and white lily. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. And detach. Hi, Angela. Go with the flow and detach. So we've got set your sights higher. It's over now. The acceptance must come in. We've done our grieving. We've done our breakup. We've done all of that. It's time to move on. Okay? We've lost what we're going to lose. It's time to set our sights higher, even in amongst all of this kind of like shaky foundation, even in amongst all of this. I've got no idea what's going to come. I've got no idea what's going to happen. It doesn't matter. You don't need to. And it's time to go with the flow, and it's time to detach from all of that old stuff, all of that, well, but we used to, and the way it used to. I keep seeing people yearning for a time that we were not in. We were not in. They're already romanticizing the past. Hi, Fiona. Feeling a bit flat, stagnant, lots happening, trying to go with the flow. Good to see you. Lovely to see you too, Fiona. So that's stagnant. I really want you to feel into that, Fiona, because that is, you will have your own sense of what that is in your life, but it is also a collective thing. That stagnant, like, it's like those of us who think we're on it, we know what's going on, are waiting for others to still catch up. We've got to stop doing that. And then there's the stagnancy in the others of like, well, when are we back to normal? And we know that's not going to happen. But we have got to stop if you're ready. The invitation is here. You don't have to do anything. If you're feeling great, good, stay with it. But the invitation is here now to stop this harking back. You know how at the end of a relationship, you look back at it, your mind fantasizes and romanticizes about how good it was and how great it was. And you start to yearn for something that actually never really was. My ex-husband, beautiful, wise, gorgeous man, said to me at the end of our relationship, you're actually grieving something that actually never was. And it's so true. That relationship was not the relationship that I wanted. It was not the relationship that I needed, which is why that relationship needed to end. And then I still grieved. I grieved for what I thought I was losing. And he reminded me that I was moving towards a lot more than what I was actually losing, because what I was losing wasn't working for me. And this is the same as what's happening with us now. I'm seeing people romanticizing, oh, remember when we could, and remember. Yes, but we're romanticizing what it felt like. Because what's happening now is all that shadow stuff's coming up, all that stuff's coming up to have a look for us, to have a look at. It wasn't working for us. If you are here watching this video, if you follow me on Instagram, if you are using any kind of languaging like New Earth, like Ascension, like if you're looking at stuff and you're excited about where we're heading, then I promise you that world never suited you. You weren't designed for it, you weren't created for it, and you are grieving something that never was. That's exactly what many of us at this time are doing. We're grieving something that never was. And the stagnancy of that is like the kind of like, I'm not quite ready to go because I don't really quite know where I'm going to. And I'm kind of yearning a little bit for the simple and the except it wasn't. Okay, so set your sights higher. It's over. Acceptance now. It's over. It's done in terms of there's no going back, right? We're on the plane, the doors are shut, we're on the runway, and we're about to take off. There is no going back. So there's no point. There's no point looking back at who didn't get on the plane. There's no point at looking back at, oh, but I've left my favorite thing there and I wanted it. The doors are shut, the plane is going off. So now move into that energy of relief and hope, because we are taking off and going with the flow and detaching. It's like, you know what, just leave that stuff behind. Leave that stuff behind. Stop kind of wanting the doors to open again in the plane and going, I want my stuff back on. Leave it behind. Just detach from it and go with the flow and get ready to take off. Which, anything else for June? Yes. One more. Okay. This is the Starseed Oracle deck, also from Rebecca Campbell. All of her decks are beautiful and I use them in sessions all the time. Okay, 1, 2 from here. One, two. Okay. 1. Yep. Okay. Seeing potential and bringing unconsciousness to light. Seeing potential and bringing unconsciousness to light also fits in beautifully with what I want to remind you of and talk to you about today. And the second card is activated earth, power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. And I know many of you are being led. Many of you are being led to other places, and then many of you feel like, oh my God, should I be where I am? If you do not have another place in mind, then yes, you should be where you are. You will have already been led. At some point you got to where you are now and you will have already been led. So seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light, power places, activated earth, power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. Okay, can we move? Okay, yes. All right, beautiful. All right, how does that feel? Let me know how that feels and how you're feeling about June. Let's start with an oil. And what I want to talk to you about today is the fallout of when we numb ourselves, okay? We all do it, and I want you to really think about how much you do it and maybe where and how you're doing it. Maybe where and how you're doing it without even really knowing that's what you're doing. Clove bud. Oh, I love the smell of clove. Love the smell of clove. Do we need a message from clove? No, just needed the energy of it. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so here's what I want to remind you of today. I'm just going to write down what I've written and then we'll go over it and expand on it. It's time to remember that you are a spark of energy. You came here into this experience as a spark of energy, and it's up to you to ignite your potential. Okay, so you have infinite potential. You have this extraordinary, you are energetic. It's time to really tune into that. It's time to tune into the energetics of you and to know that that's kind of your powerhouse. Your powerhouse, and at the core, like the storage house, no, not the storage, that's not what I want to say. The powerhouse seems the best thing, is energetic, right? So really tune into, okay, so if I'm energetic and I have come here as an infinite potential, right? Infinite potential that I can explore and that I can expand into. So remember, we are a spark of energy, and it is up to us to ignite the potential. And I want to remind you that you would have sat with the panel before you came here. I talked about this in my book. You would have sat with the panel. You would have known, what am I going to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to learn? And the set designers go about creating the perfect set for you. So I want to remind you, you will be given all of the resources you need and all of the opportunities you need. But here's what happens once we arrive. Of course, we go through the amnesia. We are then on the other side of the veil, and we have forgotten who we are. We have forgotten our power, and we have forgotten there even is a veil. We are in the great time of remembering. So many of us now do know to a degree that we are in an amnesic state, that we have forgotten who we are, and we are helping each other beautifully to remember that. There are so many people right now. I'm one of God knows how many millions that is doing this kind of work to go, I want to remind you of who you are. I want to remind you of your power. What it's time for now is to really get into the energetics of that and to remember that if I am here as an infinite potential And it's up to me to ignite that potential when you numb yourself, whether that is through alcohol, whether it's through food, whether it's through shopping, whether it is through affirmations because you want to run away from what is. You know, if you're using affirmations to kind of like to pretend what's happening isn't happening, kind of that toxic positivity, whatever it is, whether it is sitting for hours long in front of the TV, whether it's staring at your phone, whether it's scrolling through social media, whatever it is, whether it's your work, whatever you use to numb yourself makes yourself unconscious, but the energy spark and the potential are still there, and others can then use it and are using it. Okay, so I want you to know, okay, I've written it over here. I'm going to talk about it this way. So you come as an energetic potential, and then you encounter situations that you can use to expand yourself, to move yourself forward. But when we numb ourselves, what's happening is the potential is unused, right? So whatever we're encountering that is the potential to ignite the spark is now not being used. But somebody else can be using your energy, and we'll talk about how that can show up in your life. I want you to start having a think about that, because numbing and being unconscious means that you're open to manipulation. So others can now use your energetic charge for themselves, for their own agenda, for their own filling up, for like, you know, obviously this is how the matrix works. The matrix harnesses our energy. I've done other videos on this. The matrix harnesses our energy. This is what the TV is all about. This is what movies are all about. I love hearing the way my kids think. They keep freaking out lately, saying they're worried that I'm not real, or is this a dream, or I'm a robot. Oops. And this world is not real. Yeah. So what you can say to them is, yeah, that's right. You know, in a lot of ways, that's right. But we are real. We are real. You and I are real. And we go through we play in the universe. We're playing in the universe. And sometimes we play at stuff, but we are real. We do really exist. I really exist, and you really exist. We're not robots. We are real, but we're energy, and we're playing at being humans. You know, however feels good for you, Aurora, however feels good for you, because you know what, that is the truth. And most adults aren't ready to hear that. But that is the truth. But because we get here, and as we're kind of playing in the universe, we get overwhelmed, and then we go, I can't deal with this, and it's all too hard, and we choose the numbing. And when we choose the numbing, so when we sit in front of that TV, or in front of our computer, or in front of our phones, or whatever, you're numbing, but your energetics are being harnessed, and they're being used, because the energetics are always, they're always there. There's always the potential. The energetics are always there, and they're always being used. They're just not being used by you, and they're not being used consciously. So I really want to remind you that it's so important to be conscious, to move through things with that question of, that helps a lot. I get stuck when they say things like that. Yeah, fair enough. Totally understand that. The only reason I can say it this easily is because, you know, I've been at this for a long time. And I'm used to explaining things to clients. So I'm used to putting it into kind of whatever context, you know, is kind of right for that level. But so the main thing to remember is you are energy. There's no getting around that. You know that by now. You are energy. What I want you to add in is, I am infinite potential. I am infinite potential. And if I am not conscious, and if I don't use the opportunities that come my way, every experience that you have, whether they're playing out in your individual life, whether they're playing out on the world stage, If I don't use the opportunity, someone else will. Someone else will use my charge if I am numbing and if I'm just unconscious. Let me know whether that makes sense while I try not to sneeze. Let me know whether that is resonating with you, whether the way I'm explaining it makes sense. So we know that how the matrix works is that it harnesses our energy. That's how it works. It doesn't have any power, right? We're running the show. We're we're kind of like powering the generator. We are powering the very sorry, words are not my thing this morning. We are 100% makes sense. Great. We are powering the projector that plays out the external world. We power that. We power that with our energy. When we remove our energy, the whole thing will fall apart. Much of it already is. It crumbles and it falls apart when we no longer energize it. I want you to take that up. You've heard me talk about that before, but I want you to take it up a notch. I want you to really internalize it and personalize it and really bring it into your own life. And understand that when you are numb, your energy is not zero. You don't cease to be an energetic being. You're still an energetic being. You still have infinite potential, but it is now not being used by you. So the more numb you are, the more unconscious you are, the more you think things are being done to you, the more you live in that victim mentality, the more somebody else is using your energy, because it's always there. It's always there. It's always flowing. It's just not being used by you. So what really got me to think about this was I did a post on Instagram about being really happy and excited about moving into my 50s because of the work that I've done in the lead up to this. And then I also said that my illness has been a fantastic opportunity. And then the last 2.5 years had been just the most the most incredible gift to action freedom, to action really being in my power. Now, if we miss the opportunities, because we're infinite potential, if we're going through life but we miss the opportunities that come our way, it's kind of like, a lot of people are doing the work. Okay, I'm doing the work, why aren't I feeling better? Well, the first thing to know there is you might be knowing, but you're not doing from your knowing. And that a lot of people fall into that category, not doing from their knowing. But then the other thing is that you don't realize that your work are the very things that come your way. The illness that you're experiencing is the potential to put your work into action to live the relief. The whole shit fuckery of the last 2.5 years is the potential to put your knowing into action and to live the relief. This is how you move forward. These are the opportunities. This is the potential where you expand out into that potential. Does that make sense? Any questions? Okay, I'm going to hand it over to you. Quiet crowd today. Any questions? Any comments? Is this helpful? Is it resonating? What do you need me to expand in some way? And really think in your own life. I want you to really feel into, where am I numbing? Where am I numbing that I don't even know? Where am I doing like the death scroll? Where am I like binge watching? Completely resonates. Beautiful. So where are you numbing? Where are you numbing? And also, where are you not allowing potential to activate you? So I want you to think of it like this. If any of you have ever been to uni, you'll be able to relate to this. If you haven't been to uni, any course you've ever done, any book you've ever read, you will know. As good as the course was, as good as the teachers were, as great as the book was, as great as any of it was, it did not prepare you for the actual real thing, right? If I was to say to you, oh, don't worry about parenting, read this parenting book, it will prepare you beautifully, you would laugh eternally, right? If you haven't been to uni, I can assure you it's the same. You go to nursing school does not make you a nurse. You come out of nursing school, that's when you actually start learning how to be a nurse. It is the experience that allows you to gain mastery. It is the experience that allows you to expand into the potential. But somehow, with life, we've been led to believe that the actual experiences and opportunities are a bad thing. Like there should just be ease and peace and flow in the outside world, and we should never be met with anything that's uncomfortable. This is all ego stuff. This is all matrix teachings for the ego to say, avoid discomfort. And because the ego avoids discomfort at any opportunity, it will encourage you to numb. It will encourage you to get out of your head. It will encourage you not to feel. It will encourage you to not be in your body. Because we are so brainwashed into numbing, we have actually been led to believe that the body is separate from the mind. And then, even more insanely, we have been led to believe that the body is against you, that the body could kill you. It could go rogue and it could just go against you. And this is never the case. Nothing ever will go against you. The only thing that could be working against you is your own mind, your own ego, your own fearful, frightened, less evolved state. Can go against you by encouraging you to numb and by saying, I don't want to face that. I don't want to face that. I must be sick because, I don't know, some karmic thing, or because, I did something wrong in this, like whatever. I must be sick because I didn't do the right things, or I must be sick because, my body is weak or it's flawed, or, all of those things, all of those insane things that we've been led to believe. The sickness is a portal. The pandemic is a portal. The relationship you're in is a portal. The parenting you're doing is a portal. The all of it. Every single thing you encounter is the opportunity to expand into the potential that you have and to move yourself forward. And if you don't take it, the energetics are still there and it will be harnessed, because every numbing thing, the shopping that you're doing to numb yourself is really your energetics harnessed as a consumer. The programs you're watching, movies or whatever, is really your energetics harnessed to keep the matrix running. The mainstream media is an extension of the matrix, like to keep it all running, to keep wars running, to keep division running, to keep all of that, in all of that industry running. The drugs you're using, again, another industry. All of it is somebody else siphoning your energetics, because it's like just imagine that you're like this incredible like diamond glowing, and you're sitting somewhere and you've got your eyes closed and you're numb. You're numbing out, you've left the room, you're just unconscious, and they're chipping away. And they're chipping away for their own. This will be happening in your private life too. The people that drain you when you're around them, the people that ring you just to talk shit, the people that ring you just to gossip, just to chat, just to tell you how shit their life is, the people who never ask you how you are, the people who the people who you will know. I don't need to describe them. You will know them. The relationships that you're possibly in, the employer, all of it, right? They're chipping away. They're chipping away. And when you wake up, that feels painful, and so you numb some more, because you don't know how to not live like that. And I want you to know you can live a different way. You don't have to change anything on the outside, but it will. But the first thing to look at is, okay, where am I numbing myself? I'm going to stop doing that, and I'm going to start looking for No more, no one chipping away at me anymore. I'm going to start harnessing into my own potential. I'm going to start harnessing into my own energy. And I'm going to ignite that, activate it, and then be kind of that energetic powerhouse for myself. Think about the amount of anger you have shot out into the ether in the last 2 years, maybe in your whole entire life. Think about the amount of fear you have shot out at the TV, out into the energetics around us all, out into the general community, whatever. Think about the amount of fear that you have expressed. Think about the amount of conflict. Think about the grief, the yearning, the desire, all of the stuff you have shot out. Think also about the love you have shot out, all the compassion, all of it. But really start to feel into, yeah, wow, I'm actually doing that all the time. There's actually no time when I am not energetically shooting something off. And you're doing all of that, and you're shooting it and you're directing it, and it is being used and it is being harnessed. And I'm saying to you, stop the numbing, sit with it, bring it back in, and then realize, oh, okay, this is actually the portal. This is actually the opportunity. This is actually the experience that allows the potential to ignite. Is this making sense? Let me know. Anything else to add? No. Any other cards? No. Okay, so let me know. Does anyone have any questions? How's this resonating? What's your favorite part? What's your take home? Or do you have any questions on it? And because we've got time, it's only just past 9:30. I will do 3 cards. If anybody would like one, let me know. Would you like me to choose a card for you on a particular topic? Just pop that into the comments and let me know. A card and an oil, they're saying. There will be a card and an oil. So let me know if you would like a card and an oil as some guidance on something. If you want to share it, great. If you don't, that's fine. Okay, Aurora. For Aurora, one of these and one of these. Start with the oil. No, do the card first. Okay. Okay, so anything, what would you have Aurora know? One of these cards? Oh, there's lots of things we'd have Aurora know. But we will start here. Okay, this is the Denise Lynn card deck, Sacred Traveler. Okay, yep, Fiona. Beautiful deck. And so this is the card for you, Aurora. Mystic Healer. Healing energy flows through you. They're saying this is the starting point, Aurora. There's lots we want you to know, but this is the starting point, and it's a good starting point. Just know this. Just know this, and know that you're already using it every day in your life, mainly through your cooking. You do a lot of cooking with love, and that is how the energy is flowing through you to others. But start to become aware of how you can do this very consciously. And they're saying it's not through words. Okay. And an oil. Sweet fennel. Message from the fennel. Yes. Okay. Sweet fennel. Free expression. Free expression is the message of this oil. Is there a particular... Nope. Free expression. Beautiful. I hope that's helpful, Aurora. I love the smell of fennel. Actually, I love the taste of fennel too, but I don't like licorice. Oh, yay. Oh, man, I had 2 years ago making a family or kids cookbook, and now recently my boys want to make a cookbook. Yes. 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 Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, Fiona. Anything in particular? And Angela, yes. Okay. Fiona, anything in particular? Let me know if there's anything in particular, Fiona, and I'll just start with Angela. Whatever I need to know. Okay, so Angela. One of these. Okay, the Work Your Light deck. Again, Rebecca Campbell. Lots of Rebecca Campbell goes on in this room. Okay, so for Angela, what would you have her know? What would you have her know? Oh. Some anxiety there. Anna, grandmother of Jesus, sending the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Sending the light, laying foundation, divine plan. So trust that all of this is already with you, is what they're saying. The light is already with you, the foundations are being laid, and you are in a divine plan. Okay, and an oil. Okay. Oh, blue gum eucalyptus. How beautiful. A message, yes. Okay. Pioneer. Pioneer is the message of this oil for you, Angela. And, okay, and the healing characteristic that it's helping you with is this. It generates an energetic burst, passion and vigor to stay on the path of freedom and pioneer new ways of living. It generates an energetic burst, passion and vigor to stay on the path of freedom and pioneer new ways of living. I'm loving that for you, Angela. That is lovely. I hope that's helpful. It's very powerful. So there's a lot of support and trust. Yeah, I can feel that anxiety as soon as I tuned in, Angela. So I hope those words are helping you to know the light is already there, the laying of the foundations is happening, and you're in a divine plan. So, Fiona, direction of work. They're saying, okay, no, there's too much confusion and you need to pare it back completely and start with the foundation. So for Fiona, mastering, something needs to be mastered. There's a specific message for you, Fiona. Something needs to be mastered. Mastery of the breath. Mastery of the breath. It's like you're 10 steps ahead, Fiona, and you need to really come back and go, let me master the breath. Okay. So start with mastering the breath, being conscious about it, using it to calm, using it to come into the now, using it to center, and then what's the message? And just an oil. Okay, one of these. Calendula. Glorious calendula. So healing and beautiful. Radiance. Radiance. Bring it back. Mastery of the breath. Be conscious about it. Let it help you center. Be in the now. just bring it right back. The whole work questions, they're too far. They're like at step 10 and you need to be at step 1. That's not to say you're going backwards. That's to say you're going further in. And the message is radiance. Start with the breath. Start with the radiance. Listen back to what I talked about today. Really look at where this is speaking to you. And that radiance being that infinite potential that I was talking about, that we're all here to be. We are all here with infinite potential. And the only way we are going to expand into that and express that is when we stop numbing, stop being unconscious, start utilizing what comes our way to be the experience that allows the potential to spark, which is why my sessions are all about what is here for me, where is my power, what's my next step, because what you're experiencing at the moment is your material. It's perfect. It's exactly what it needs to be. And you start looking around for, right, so where are my resources? Where are my experiences? And now let me really ignite that potential and really remember that energetic being that I am and that I came here to be. And I'm no longer going to be open and available to be harnessed while I sleep in the corner. Okay, everyone, there's a bit of, a collective oil, because there's a bit of grief coming up with that, actually for everybody. A bit of grief maybe as you realize how much you have. Yeah, great. A bit of grief maybe as you realize how much you have numbed out and not been kind of conscious as things have gone on. But that grief we need to move out too. So that is good. Okay. So just allow yourself to have a cry if you're having a cry right now or throughout the day. It's good. It's releasing. You're just letting it. This is actually part of. Great. I'm glad about that, Fiona. This is actually part of what I'm talking about when I'm saying using it for ourselves. Instead of going, I'm going to numb out, I'm going to watch a movie, I'm going to howl at someone else's life. I'm going to cry, I'm going to send out my grief to be harnessed to, for like all of the things I'm seeing, all of the pain I'm seeing out in the world. Come back into your own and use it for yourself. So cinnamon leaf, and just have a nice breath. And I'm just going to see what the message of cinnamon leaf is, and then we'll leave it there today. Warmth. Okay, what's the actual message? Okay, so cinnamon leaf, this is a collective message and a collective healing. The message of the oil is warmth, and the healing characteristic is this: to draw you out of isolation and sit around the campfire, be it a lounge room, workshop, the tea room at work, etc., with other kindred spirits sharing stories, belly laughs, and connections. To draw you out of isolation and sit around the campfire, be it a lounge room, workshop, the tea room at work, with other kindred spirits sharing stories, belly laughs, and connection. Okay, nice deep breath. Okay, anything else? No. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. If you're watching the replay, please let me know in the comments what resonates with you. Please give it a like to get some reach. And thank you for being here. Those of you who are here, it's always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments. You're welcome, Angela. It's lovely to have you all here, and I really hope this helps to remind you. That's okay, Marianne. It might be one that you do want to watch again. And remember, the knowing is not what brings the relief, the doing is what brings the relief. And life is the practical application of what you came here to remember, of the lessons that you have learnt. Life is the practical application. So embrace it with open arms, and when it comes to your life, whatever it comes in the form in, whether it comes in the form of an illness, whether it comes in the form of a relationship ending, whether it comes in the form of the last 2.5 years, whatever form it comes in, go right. Firstly, I'm going to remind you, you are a spark of energy, and it's up to you to ignite the potential. The potential is infinite. You will be given all the resources you need and all the opportunities you need. So make sure that you're aware of your resources, and make sure that you start to see things as being the opportunities so that the potential can spark. All right, everybody, much love to you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Monday, and I will see you here next week, hopefully on the computer.